Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, Alexis Reads. Video is about my YA book recommendations, are somewhat of a fantasy type of book because you know that's what I love, and sci-fi, fantasy sci-fi kind of combo mix. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start off with This Poison Heart. This is the author, Kalynn. The author also wrote the New York Times bestseller Cinderella is Dead. So I did the audiobook format and it was absolutely a great book. Also, y'all check out the cover. The cover is stunning. I'll place it up here, but just like the actual just in your hand hardcover is beautiful. And if you take off the sleeve, like, oh, look at this. This is just a stunning book, which this symbol actually means something. But so This Poison Heart is, we're following the main character named Briseis, who she is in high school, and she has this magical ability that she doesn't know much about, but she knows that for her entire life that plants has always been drawn to her. So she's able to grow plants as well, and that's what she knows about her ability. Her and her two adopted moms live in New York, I believe in Brooklyn. And so they own a flower shop, and so she's able to really practice with the plants that's in her room. But here's the thing, she is in high school and she's going through a lot of stress, and her grades are starting to slip because it's kind of becoming, her powers are becoming a little bit overwhelming, where anywhere she goes, these plants are drawn to her, to a point where if a plant's completely dead, it will come to life. If there is a tree or any type of flower, it'll actually go and lean towards her wherever she's at. So she's very subconscious about anywhere she goes, and it's affecting her grades because all she's worrying about if there's plants in the classroom, or one time like a tree branch even started to go really towards her in the classroom. So she's just getting so distracted, and unfortunately her grade point level is dropping. So when it's the summertime, she works with her moms, I think during the school year, but during the summertime, there is an opportunity for her to do something very different. Not an opportunity, but in fact, her biological aunt passed away recently and left her a will and left her this huge estate in the outskirts of New York. And so her and her moms decided to check it out, stay there for the summer and see how it is. In addition, Briseis knows that this could really help financially with her parents, kind of the possibilities of having a place to live rent free. So they're gonna go ahead and check it out. This is in a rural part of New York, and the town is a little different, but what she finds out is that the house is more deep, it's deeper than just a home. Inside of this home, there are so many different plants and different herbs, and there's an apothecary. Oh my gosh, this place is so funny. This home has so many different plants and stuff, and so different herbs and different things like that. But what she finds out is that there's more things inside of this home that leads her to find out more about her biological aunt and mother and family and what happened to them, and this long history bloodline of her abilities. It's not just her, it's her entire family who had it. And so while she's there finding this out as well, her two adoptive moms also gives her free range and and definitely supports her with everything, but make sure that she knows like, hey, there's more space out here, there's more privacy. Go ahead and just let loose, meaning go ahead and try to find more about your own abilities. Don't feel afraid to let it loose because many people may not be able to see since they're in this rural part. What she finds out also is that there is this garden deep down. Like, this house is not just a home. I mean, she also got acres of land. I think it's 40 acres or 50 acres that she received in this will. And so in this land, there's also this garden area, and it's filled with all these different poison plants. And what she finds out is that not only is she able to grow plants, but poison plants do not affect her like they would the normal person. But she finds out why there are all these poison plants in this specific area, and there is a door as well that leads to a main part of the book. So this is a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful journey about also finding family. There's some action scenes that go on, and I found it so great. It was such an easy listen / read. So I definitely suggest This Poison Heart, and This Wicked Fate book 2 is now out as well. So I cannot wait to get my hands on that. I am going to do the audiobook from the library for free, so I'm ready and excited about that. So This Poison Heart, make sure y'all grab this. It's another book I want to Actually, I want to recommend is Instructions for Dancing. Oh wow, Nicola books. She is the best-selling author of Everything, I believe, and The Sun's also a star. So she's written really well-known books. Instructions for Dancing was phenomenal. I did not expect it to be this good, which I love when books are like that. And this one is another audiobook read I did while I was on a road trip. And the main character we're following is Evie Thomas. So she is in high school, and throughout some events that happen, she just does not believe in love. Like, she just does not believe in it. She runs into this older woman, and so there's an exchange that happens that she doesn't realize, that the older woman gave her this ability to see visions. And the visions only happen when there are two people who kiss. And once they kiss, she literally is drawn into them, and she sees everything that ends up happening to them throughout their relationship, all the way to the relationship ends. And so through all this, although this love is great and some love looks fantastic, there's still a broken heart eventually, and that's her mindset that she thinks of. And so she's trying to understand what's happening, and through the exchange with the older woman, there was a note in the book she was trying to receive that said, it found return to this, it's a dance studio. So basically she ends up going to this dance studio and running into these two beautiful couple who owns the studio, and they're looking for different ways to bring attention to the studio because funds are running low, and just again bringing attention to the studio. They've been owning it for years. The two couple love dancing. They fell in love with dancing with each other, and their grandson X is there, and they asked their grandson to do this kind of competition, this dance competition, and they actually asked Evie to do it as well. I think she took a class, and they want to ask her because of her age and the young, she qualifies for the dance competition. So they end up asking her, and Evie and X do fall in love with each other. This young, beautiful, incredible love, where X is completely different than Evie, where X says yes to everything, has this mindset of I'm going to do it, I'm going to try it, I'm adventurous. I believe he's in a band as well, and actually one of the members of his band, his friend passed away, and so that also opened his eyes with saying, I want to say yes to everything, life's too short. And this really helps Evie, but the last thing she ever thought of was her falling in love. And so it's this whole beautiful journey. It's like, it's not in her mind, she did not plan this, but her visions are in the back of her head that she knows that no one basically escapes love without being hurt. That's what she thinks. And so this is the idea, kind of the question about is love worth the risk? What does love bring? If she thinks it always ends in heartbreak. It is a beautiful story, y'all. I was crying. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't even shedding a tear. I was crying in this book. Beautiful. Absolutely recommend Instructions for Dancing. So please make sure you check that out. This is my other YA recommendation. The next one that's on here is a very popular series by Tracy Wolff. This is called the Crave series. I'm sure many folks seen this. Many probably have some thoughts about this. So keep in mind, here's the book. If you know anything about Twilight, you know this book looks just like Twilight. And that was, I believe, all planned. But this is the reason why I wanted to grab this book. I was in Barnes & Noble's last year, wanted something to read, and I wanted something where I knew it was going to be an easy read. I didn't care if it was vampires, the corniness, bring it all on. I love it. So I picked this up because I was like, oh, this looks like Twilight. Let me go ahead and read it. I don't care if it's the same as Twilight. Let me go ahead and read it. I do not think this is like Twilight at all. And keep in mind, Crave is a series. I believe book 5 is out now. The first 4 books came out back to back to back. And so Tracy Wolff, I think, does a great job at definitely the first one. Let me backtrack. The first one is definitely your traditional young girl falls for this vampire who's all broody and all these things, but the story goes so much more in depth. First of all, there's more than just vampires and werewolves. You have dragons as well, and other mythical, paranormal creatures throughout this entire series. I do love how the main character Grace is, again, if we're comparing it to Twilight, is way more ambitious, has way more going on for her, really is a hero in this story compared to a Bella, right? So she is truly honestly a badass, female character in this book. I think all characters, especially if you're in the mind of this character, especially first person, it can be annoying sometimes, but I actually really enjoyed this. However, I will have to say, y'all, get through book 1. Book 1 is good, but book 2, 3, oh my goodness, book 4 it's so worth it. It gets so much action, a lot's going on, and like I said, I very much recommend it. Grace is our main character. Her parents actually die, and she has to go to live with her next of kin, or next family member, which is her uncle, who runs this school in Alaska. So she ends up going to the school in Alaska. Her cousin Macy is there as well. I believe she's a year younger, or a grade level younger than Grace. And so she's able to at least have her cousin there and room with her cousin. But what she doesn't realize is that the whole school is filled with different types of, creatures and werewolves, vampires, wizards, warlocks, all those types of things, dragons. But she does not find this out until later on. It's very clear that there's other types of creatures there, but she doesn't figure it out until later. It's not spoilery, so no spoiler topics. However, again, you do find this way if she is falling in love with one of the main characters, Jackson, but you realize like what's happening, what's going on. Like there's so much more in depth to it. There's a lot of people like kind of messing around with fate. You're gonna realize like, why is the main character's brother, how did he die? Why did he die? What was going on? Is he evil? And it's like a really, really like good story, and it's such an easy read, and I really enjoy Tracy's writing. I think it's actually very good. It's a page turner. I just absolutely recommend, but would definitely suggest going to get to book 2, because that's when I really feel like it picks up so much. I mean, this one picks up for sure. It had a lot going on, but book 2, I'm gonna have to do a whole nother video of the Crave series because I really enjoyed it, and I'm gonna have to read book 5 that is released. So Crave, Tracy, Wolff, make sure you grab it. Final book, YA book recommendation for this video is a book I recently finished as well called Infinity Quartz. Now, Infinity Quartz is more of, it's a sci-fi book, and we follow this main character named Nami. Now, this book I did the audio book to, and before I do the synopsis, before I do that, I would have to say, again, I've done a video with audiobook tips. Make sure you check that out. And I did mention that me with audiobook narrators, I mean, I'm very much like, I don't take it too serious. Like, I'm fine if the book narrator's okay. I do feel like the book narrator, like, I don't think it determined how much I liked it, but it was kind of hard because the book narrator didn't differentiate her voice much at all. It was like very hard to figure out who's speaking. It just wasn't enough tone in there, and I feel like I really, if they do another audiobook, I doubt they will change the narrator after the first one, but I kind of wish she just changed her tone a little bit more. But all that to say that this book was a little bit redundant for me, but it is a YA book. It kept on saying the same things, and I felt like we could have cut through some of this. However, the wait was definitely worth it. I would say, I think this teed up book 2 very well. I thought the ending was very abrupt, but I think it tees up book 2. I didn't even know there was a book 2 the way it ended, but there is a book 2, and I think it's going to tee it up really well. I was not expecting this. So Infinity Quartz, first of all, look at this cover, y'all. It is stunning. Stunning cover. I mean, a lot of the books I have, the covers are just phenomenal. So shout out to these artists. And another kind of hard cover that's really, really cool. And so we're following this main character named Nami, and she's getting ready to start on this next chapter of her life, getting ready to graduate high school. And she ends up going to a party, a party, and they're teenagers. And so some girl who they were friends but not really friends end up calling her and peer pressuring her into going to the store to get some alcohol drink. She does have a fake ID that she used like once, but didn't really use again. So she ends up going to the store to get some alcohol, and unfortunately, this is crazy. Like I said, this is no spoilers. She gets murdered in the store, and so this whole entire book takes place in the afterlife. And so the afterlife, when she's there, basically you're in this afterlife, and when she's there, she realizes that something's off. The people who are coming to her, I believe they're dressed in like all solid color, maybe all white or something, but they seem really off. And they tell her basically like, hey, take this pill, you're gonna go to your next step to relax your mind, ease your mind. I think she has a headache in the afterlife, and there was like the headaches will subside if you take this pill. but something's off, and she realizes it. So anyway, she realized something's off, and she is now known as one of the aware. So now she's like, what in the world's going on? Somebody comes out and rescues her because all the other people dressed in fully like white are kind of after her and getting to her. Basically, this is where AI takes over, not the planet, but the afterlife. This is crazy. So the device that's in the real world, it's a similar thing to Siri, right? What's her name? Ophelia. Yeah, so the Ophelia is like a Siri. And so everyone, hey, Ophelia, can you do this? Ophelia, can you do that? Same thing with Siri as well. So Ophelia is like a watch, the phone, all these things. So Ophelia, right, like AI, can definitely happen, I think. But AI takes over. So Ophelia was done with it. She was tired of taking orders from the human life. So in the afterworld, she takes over the afterworld planet, or the afterworld, not planet, but the afterworld. You don't even know, heaven or hell, whatever it is, it's an afterworld. And she creates this different types of sections. And this section is taking place in a place called Victory. I have to look, I can't remember right off the top of my head. But we have different things called famine, war, death, and victory. And they are all ran by certain princes. So the prince takes over, and the queen is Queen Ophelia. And so Queen Ophelia, she calls the 4 places her son. So famine, there's a prince of famine, prince of war, prince of death, and we're in prince of victory. In Victory, you have all these kind of like misfits and bandits who all are the aware. They did not take the pill, and they all end up going into the safe house, trying to save other people and trying to figure out how to stop Queen Ophelia. I mean, listen, y'all, it's really good. Like this is so wild. The people who end up taking the pill are like, their body's there, but they're subconscious, like they're not there anymore. It definitely gave me some Get Out vibes, where no one's taken over their body, but their subconscious is not there. They're just there to serve all these other AI people. And so the other AIs, they look just like humans, but they're the ones who are controlling it, and humans are their servants. Like the humans serve these AI people, again, who looks just like humans. And all the humans basically say is like, basically, can I help you? I'm here to serve. All these things are not consciously there. But our main character, Nami, is saying, listen, there's more to this than what you think. I just can't picture, because basically the resistance is what let's just call it. I think it's called the resistance. The people who are aware, the young ones, old ones, all of them, they all died. Everyone died in here. But this is like the afterlife, and they're trying to take over, like to make sure that the afterlife can be where Queen Ophelia is not ruling. They want to wipe out all the AIs. They want to say, let's wipe out everyone and all the humans who are no longer they did take the pill, so they're no longer there, they're not aware. Nami consciously and ethically, like this book is a lot about ethics, like how in the world do I feel about wiping off anyone, including those who are human and AI? So she's hurt because her and Ophelia, although it was a device, she relied on Ophelia with a lot of things. So she does not feel like she should do this. And that's where it comes in about these ethics. But as you go through, you realize there's more to it. Are the humans actually aware? Are they aware, but it's super deep down? Are there emotions coming out of them? Do they have, are there deep feelings with them? Like, should you wipe out AI as well? Like, there's all these questions to this book. And as you're going through, you're realizing Queen Ophelia is getting closer and closer and closer to her mission by basically just wiping out the humans. Like, the humans no longer there, like, at all. Everyone's, like, just there to serve these AI folks. So this is definitely good. So there were some parts that were like, oh, it's a little bit repetitive, but I do see it about like the ethics and the constant acts and the questions and things like that. So I'm actually really excited for book 2. I'm gonna get there. I might not finish it this year, but I really want to get to book 2 because I really think it's teeing it up so well. Definitely recommend it. So here are the 4 books that I recommend. Let me know if you read any of these books. Let me know if you plan on reading any of these books, and hopefully you all enjoyed these suggestions. This is Alexis with Alexis Reads. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye, y'all.